He had fresh paint on his hands, gently brushed it onto the side of the shoes, and thus, the iconic three stripes logo of Adidas was born. And the reason he did this was because his brother had just founded a brand called Puma. Few people know that 100 years ago, Adidas and Puma were once one. In 1924, Adidas was just an ordinary shoemaker. He spent his days in his backyard designing his own sports shoes but never sold a single pair. In the eyes of others, he was a complete failure, except for his older brother Rudolf. He was the sales manager at the factory. He carried an air of success about him, and whenever someone spoke ill of his younger brother, he would take action. His brother was his one and only defense. But over time, even Adidas began to doubt himself. He had dreamt of world-class athletes wearing his shoes on the podium, but now it seemed no one needed his sports shoes. It was at this moment that Rudolf appeared. He had quit his job as a manager to partner with his brother in the business. Adidas only needed to focus on making shoes, while Rudolf took care of selling them all.
Ich und du zusammen. Danach bald keiner mehr.
The next day, the two brothers founded Dazzler's shoe factory together, and this was the precursor to Adidas. But soon they encountered trouble. Due to World War I, Germany's defeat had led to an economic downturn. Many shoe factories had gone bankrupt, so the banks refused to loan the brothers money. What's more, people at the time believed that shoes should be sturdy and durable, and Adidas's sports shoes were incredibly lightweight. They could wear out after just a couple of uses. Furthermore, no one would buy a pair of shoes just for sports. As they left the bank, Adidas was frustrated. He wouldn't allow anyone to disparage his hard work, but his brother told him, "You just focus on making shoes, I'll handle the money." The next day, Rudy set off with a car full of sports shoes. He went to the town's sports stadium where people tried on the shoes firsthand, experiencing something unique. Rudy told them that the rubber studs on the soles provided better grip. The lightweight, flexible leather was for comfort during sports. As the older brother, he understood every ounce of his brother's hard work. That afternoon, when Rudy drove back home, the 273 pairs of shoes he brought were all sold out. As the brothers' shoes began to gain a reputation, Rudy posted advertisements in the streets. He wanted to recruit more workers to increase production. On the other hand, Adidas started working on designing new sports shoes. However, using softer materials caused problems with the studs not staying in place. So he had a brilliant idea to use his brother's Mercedes tires and glue them to the shoe soles for added grip. But even with this improvement, the shoe's quality didn't match up to expectations, leading to a surge in returns. This time, Rudy couldn't stand by. He insisted that his brother continue making the old sports shoes. All those fancy new designs were not what the customers needed. After saying that, he turned and walked away. Adidas was a bit surprised, because as far as he remembered, it was the first argument they'd ever had. Little did he know that such arguments would happen again and again in the future. A few years later, all of Germany's athletes were wearing Adidas shoes. The business of the two brothers was thriving, and love quietly entered their lives. The only difference was that Rudy continued to flirt with other girls even after getting married, while Adidas prepared a gift for his wife at their wedding. It was a pair of women's sports shoes that he made himself. On this day, Rudy planned to go to the bank again with his brother to discuss a loan. But Adidas was not good with words and didn't want to attend such an occasion. It was when the two were at an impasse that Adidas's wife stepped in. So his wife accompanied his brother to the meeting, and this time, they finally secured the loan. Back at home, Rudy excitedly hugged his sister-in-law from the car, but his wife's face turned unusually dark when she saw this scene. With this loan, the brothers' small workshop transformed into a large factory. Even the national team coach came to cut the ribbon for them. Everything seemed to be heading in the right direction, until one day Adidas's wife made an unexpected request.